The case against a 17-year-old boy accused of killing a grade 10 learner, Deveney Nel, back in the Caledon Magistrate's Court today. The teenager made his first court appearance last month, and those proceedings were held in camera due to his status as a minor. Nel was found dead in a storeroom at her school at the Overberg High School last month. Her mother had reported her missing after she failed to go back home following a school sports day event. Newzroom Afrika's Nasiphi Same is following the story for us and joins us now. Nasiphi, this is such a heartbreaking and tragic story, especially when you consider the history. And there was an accusation of a 2020 rape incident that involves the accused right now. There are a couple of complications in the story and also accountability from the Social Development Department as well, and action they might have taken out of those earlier proceedings. So just bring us up to speed today and what's expected to unfold in court.
While the matter remains in camera, media is not allowed inside, and that will be, or rather we will hear the outcomes of today's proceedings from the spokesperson of the NPA here in the Western Cape, Eric Ntabazalile. And as you put it, 17-year-old once again makes his second court appearance at the Caledon Magistrate Court, facing a charge of murder. And that relates to the incident that shook this community of Caledon and the Overberg region, where on the 16th of August, 16-year-old Deveney Nel was not only reported missing by her mother, but later that evening, that very same evening, found deceased or dead inside a storeroom. We understand that she had suffered stab wounds. And about 2 days later, following a memorial service that was held by the school, limited to parents, pupils, including the staff, the 17-year-old was subsequently arrested following that memorial service. We also, understand that he was allegedly part of the group of people that had formalized and searched for Deveney Nel on the 16th of August. But, following that court appearance last month, a number of allegations came forward where it is alleged that in 2020, when he was about 14 years old, there was a sexual assault and rape case or charge against him. However, he was found not liable to commit that crime, looking at his age and also being protected in the Child Protection Act. We do know that many people calling for him to be trialed as an adult and for him to be named. However, because of that particular act, one needs to adhere to the laws of this country and not name him. Following the court appearance, he was put in a place of safety, and those investigations you speak of from the social development side, we understand that the department in the Western Cape is also investigating that, as we do know that following the 2020 allegations and charges, there needed to be an intervention from that department. But a number of people are also here outside the Caledon court. I'm now joined by Hein Veingard, who is from the Cape Forum, and you were here on the first court appearance. You're here again. Talk to us about your thoughts about this particular matter.
Thank you for the opportunity. Well, first of all, I am a resident of this town, so to us, a month after the incident, it is still a shock because it's a very quiet town. Yes, murder is not uncommon, but this kind of murder and the fact that it happened on the school ground makes it different to the fact that we've experienced murder previously. Also, the fact that the victim and the alleged perpetrator are two young people, that also makes it even more shocking, I would say. And to us as a community and also to Cape Forum, it's important that one should not create the idea that Caledon has now become an unsafe town, or that the school, Overberg High, has now become an unsafe territory. So Cape Forum has offered the school, and it was accepted by the principal, Mr. Johan Jacobs, to do a safety audit to establish what possible threats there may be to the school learners, staff, and also teachers. And then for the school, obviously, to accept and hopefully execute whatever the findings is and the recommendations that will be done by our team.
But and this was a threat that emanated from internally another pupil to have alleged to have committed this crime that saw Deveney Nel losing her life and being found in a storeroom. How do you then navigate that?
So, which is exactly why I'm saying the idea shouldn't be that the school has now become an unsafe space. This is a young individual. We know now, you've mentioned it to your viewers, that there is a history. This young man has already been implicated and in a sexual assault. Well, it was rape. It was a violent incident of rape to an 11-year-old. So it's not you. I heard you saying allegedly. It's not an allegation. He was found to have committed that awful crime. And it was confirmed also by the parents of the victim. And so the system failed not only the 11-year-old, but also Deveney and whoever else, because we don't know everything yet, whoever else may have been a victim of this young man. Of course, as a parent, I'm also thinking of his parents. And as a parent, one doesn't wish that onto any other parent. But there are some questions that his own parents also should be answering. And I'm not pointing fingers, but you know your child best. And if the parents never saw anything wrong, then that's a problem. And it also raises question about the possible abuse or, let me just say, the circumstances that have formed this young man to become the monster that he became.
We'll have to leave it there. Hi, Vengat there, a chairperson of the Cape Forum here in Caledon, a resident as well, highlighting that he believes that there has been failures from a government when it comes to the 17-year-old accused of the murder of a 16-year-old Deveney Nel in August, also highlighting that perhaps more needs to be done, and also, looking into the background and where the 17-year-old comes from, looking at the history of the 17-year-old that is currently being accused of that very tragic death of Deveney Nel.
Nasiphi, we see a large crowd, a crowd of people just behind you. Just tell us more about who's in court today and who has an interest in the way that this develops, and whether family members are there as well. One can imagine that this is such a difficult moment for them, especially bearing in mind what our guest just said, that perhaps this was a tragedy that could have been averted. And also, there is some doubt as to whether there might have been, other victims along the way. Of course, all of this, these remain allegations insofar as the new charges and this story itself. But in the past, as you heard him say there, he was definitely found to have committed a crime.
Well, all of that, one is assuming, will form part of the investigation. Just last month alone, when he appeared in court, the NPA indicated that they will be investigating, and possibly more charges might also be added when the matter goes to court. And currently, as you can see, there are people protesting from various organizations, some of them silently protesting, calling for justice for Deveney, some saying no bail, residents as well, as we heard from Hein earlier on. I don't know if one of them might be interested in talking to us and perhaps the reasons that bring her outside. Ma'am, if you could just quickly give me your name and where you're from.
Good morning. It's Tanya Bibbett, and I'm from the organization 1 Billion Rising South Africa. We handed in the petition this morning to the NPA. We received 1,428 signatures. In the petition, we asked for no bail. Secondly, that the alleged perpetrator gets held in a juvenile detention center, not a place of safety. He's not special. And thirdly, we ask for the maximum sentence with no parole.
We'll continue that conversation as the day progresses. A number of organizations currently standing outside court with their placards. A petition also submitted now to the Caledon Magistrate Court and calling for the 17-year-old who's facing this charge of murder to be held at a juvenile detention center.
Nasiphi Same, thank you very much for that. I think we'll take a deeper look now at some of the legalities into the story. We will, of course, keep you updated on developments there in the Caledon Magistrates Court as that case goes ahead. But